boxing. It was the training. You know, you're sparring with guys. This whole men in women's sports. I ran a boxing gym in Georgia. I ran a boxing gym in Augusta, Georgia. We never let our kids box the boys, our girls box. What? No way. I would spar with 15-year-olds. Here I am, a grown woman. The 15-year-old was more my strength equivalent. And so you don't want to, this whole boxing men thing is, I've done that before. And that's the training is what'll get you injured, because it's every other day sparring.
Yeah, I don't know, Cristy, if I believe you, because the left has been telling me that there's no difference between men and women at all. Trans women are women. I've been told this whole sorts of things. So
they've never fought one then.
Yeah, no. I mean, it's true. I had an argument one time about Ronda Rousey versus me with a buddy who didn't understand mixed martial arts or anything like that, and he's like, man, she would smoke you. I'm like,
oh my gosh,
that's not really the way it works. I go, listen, man, I'm at the peak of my game right now, and she is a female, and she wouldn't even think that she could beat me.
Yeah.
And it's just, we're built differently. We're built to be very complementary.
Yes. But
somehow being built differently in today's world is as if there are, negative or terrible differences between us rather than, the blessing that men and women are different. I heard a comedian the other day and I thought it was great. He said, my favorite thing about chicks? I said, okay, what's your favorite thing about chicks? They're not dudes.
Yeah.
And I thought that, okay, boil it down.
I'm so disappointed to see the other boxing coaches in the sport that have not stood up for our fighters, our boxers, and they've been letting them get in the ring. I would never in a million years let one of my kids get in the ring with a boy. I'm just like, whoa, we don't do that. No. So I'm surprised that we haven't protected our kids better than this.
Yeah. Now, contrasting that, and I've written articles on that. So, my 3 daughters train jiu-jitsu, and they will, not very often, but, like when they're coming up, with like the teenage boys and things like that, under serious observation, they'll train, right?
Yes.
And I think it's important for girls to feel that strength, understand that, and also because jiu-jitsu is, grappling based, learning how to deal with a bigger, heavier opponent, especially for women, is incredible. And so my girls are, really attack proof in some regards when it comes to, men and things like that. They know how to handle business. Yeah. And by that means they're not going to fight them, right? They're going to be able to make a means for escape. And that's what jiu-jitsu allows for women, is they get to make a means for escape. And that's why I think people are under a little bit of a delusion doing some of the other martial arts, the striking-based things and all that. Because if you're going to fight a guy who's just a competent street fighter or just a thug, you're not going to get away with much, and you're not going to be effective with your strikes and things like that if there's a guy that's a criminal meant to do harm. So
yeah, people always say that about me. Oh, Cristy, you could blah, blah, blah. I can run is what I could do. I can run. That's what I'm going to,
That's the best martial art there is.
I'm not even too afraid to say that. I'm not even going to try to take on a guy. My sparring partner would come in drunk to the gym and I still couldn't really get one over on him. He would halfway do his punches and I would still have to really pay attention. So I can't believe people that think that would be that they could take on a guy. It's ridiculous.
Well, I think the tide is turning in regards to that, and more people are being brave, including in all the sporting communities. I mean, shout out to Governor Brad Little here. He put out a post the other day. I think he's been soft on a bunch of things. I'd like us to be friends. I'd love to encourage him to be stronger on certain things, but he did say that, he's protecting women's sports here in the state of Idaho, and I want to give him a shout out because that is
he's the first one. The first one.
Because, kudos to, Boise State and the women's volleyball team saying no to that nonsense. And we need to not participate in their insanity. The more we bow out of their insanity, the better it will be for the long term. And we need everybody to kind of stand up and be brave and speak out against those things.
Yeah, and I have been brave about speaking out online. And then whenever I start to get some pushback, I say, no, hold on a minute. I've actually done it. You ain't never even been slapped before. You don't even have room to talk here. You don't have a room to talk.